So I have something I want to write about, but before I do that, I want to share it personally because it's very vulnerable and on my heart, and often when I write, it comes from my head and not from my heart. So I just want to share something massive that just happened to me. You know, so I've been living in California for a little over 3 years, and people often refer to California as the plastic aesthetic and the Barbie and Ken dolls and this perfect health and wealth and fitness and all of that. And people ask me how comfortable I am here. And I can honestly say, until today, I have never experienced anything but love and acceptance in California. I think part of it is the cultural diversity. The other part of it, I think, is that there are so many people here that understand energy and relate to me and others on an energetic level, and not necessarily based on what I look like and the fact that I'm overweight. It's not unknown to me that I'm overweight. Today, I was publicly fat shamed at Whole Foods. And I have never, ever experienced anything like that in my life. And I just want, again, it's not a secret that I'm overweight. I'm well aware of what my situation is. And to have a complete stranger shame me about it is blowing my mind. And it's blowing my mind in a way that people don't understand. Nobody knows what's going on in anybody's lives. Nobody understands how much the words they say matter. Even when it's a flip comment you think was said under your breath, it penetrates people, and it can penetrate them in a way that has unintended consequences. And that's what I want people to understand, is how much those words matter and how much they can impact people without you even knowing. So here's the full story. The full story is I went to a colonic because I'm having really, really difficult problems in that area, which is one of the reasons, the causes of the weight gain that I've had. And there's a whole lot of TMI in there that I'm not going to get into, but it's going from shitting my pants in public to not being able to go to the bathroom for weeks. It's very uncomfortable. So I go to this appointment at a plastic surgery place, mind you, and they make comments about how pretty I look and how they love that my mask matched my shirt. A plastic surgery place. That's the kind of welcoming I've had in California. Is generous, is kind, is welcoming. That's what I get. And when people ask me what it's like to be around the Barbie and Ken dolls, my response is always, I get back what I put out, which is good, which is kindness, which is love. And that's what I got at the plastic surgery place. Mind you, I was at the wrong place and I wasn't able to have my colonic, which is severely disappointing after waiting for so long to get in, given the current circumstances. And then I had lunch and I walked across the street. I purposefully walked across the street, across a parking lot, to get more steps in to go to Whole Foods because they have these fruit tarts that I like. It's fruit. It's good. I mean, granted it's a tart, but it's a small, like literally a tiny dessert. They were out. They had cookies. I asked if I could get one cookie. No, they did not have any cookies. So after much debate, I bought a package of the smallest cookies that they had, thinking I would eat one and put the rest in the freezer. I walked out of Whole Foods and there was a man walking in, much like the men that I've dated here. Very fit, very gorgeous in his little too short 70s gym shorts. And I smiled and I said, hey there, like, not being flirty, but just being nice and honest. And he walks past me. And it took me a while to interpret what he said, because I really didn't believe what he said. And I realized that he said, you don't need those. But he didn't just say you don't need those. He said it in a very, it feels demonic tone, like a very like awful, awful tone. And I looked back at him and I was dumbfounded, like literally dumbfounded. I just stared him in the eye and he stared me in the eye and kept walking. And of course, then I started to write about it. And I called my son, who's, you know, oh, I'm going to kick his ass. I wish I would have been there kind of thing. And I hope you told him off. And I didn't say a word. And I'm disappointed that I didn't say a word. But what I really thought about was how he doesn't know where I just came from. The fact that I had this disappointment, the fact that I attempted to get something really small, and I'm entitled to have a fucking cookie, period. Like, it's none of his business whether I eat one cookie or 100 cookies. It's none of his business whatsoever. But the fact that he said that to me, particularly at a time where I'm trying my damnedest just to stay on this earth, he has no idea that could have taken me out. It's not going to. That's not where this is going. I'm not saying that. It's not going to. But when you encounter people and you want to say something, don't say it unless it has value, unless it adds value. If it's loving, if it's kind, then say it. By all means, say it. But if it's not, fucking don't. Just keep it to yourself. Because I promise you, I'm never going to see that man again. And he's not going to know these unintended consequences. And they're not going to be as great or as grand as they could have been. But I am not the same as every other person. And I can't guarantee that another person would have the same result. And I don't want anyone to have even this much upset, let alone what could have come. If I let his words take me down. Be kind. Just be kind. And if it's not kind, keep it to yourself.